It's obviously a very interesting question. It's a question which is being asked across mining in Durban this year. The general perspective is that there's some level of positivity. The concerns are that if there are spikes in recovery, they don't sustain long-term decision making. So the companies that are benefiting from the spikes are doing so very well because they're nimble and they respond to those and they make money off them. But it doesn't help the teams that are, or the companies that are looking at longer-term sustainable decision making for projects, and whether brownfields or greenfields. So hopefully the positivity translates into a more smooth, sustainable recovery this year.
I think those countries where there's still regulatory uncertainty, where there's been a change in the mineral laws throughout those countries in Africa, those are still posing a challenge to the various companies, and I think the companies are just looking for certainty. So those places like Guinea, Mali, where they're going through new ministers, where they're going through new mining laws, that's posing a challenge. And I suppose those are the countries with the challenges at the moment.
The positive countries, Namibia is becoming one of those destinations where people are getting excited about. So Namibia, again, for various reasons. Zimbabwe is on everybody's mind at the moment. A lot of interest in Zimbabwe at the moment. Zambia, Botswana, very stable, so nothing much happening there. But the hotspots that Nicholas mentioned, hopefully Tanzania again changes this year. It does need to, if it wants to get back to where it was last year before all of those decisions were made, and a lot of arbitrations going on, particularly the Australian companies fighting for their rights in Tanzania. A lot of interest in DRC, that's again picking up, very, very good for us. Mali is interesting. Uganda is probably one of the most difficult jurisdictions at the moment, but again a lot of potential. But probably the most difficult jurisdiction at the moment, Africa, is Uganda. Technology is absolutely critical, from the most basic things like access to cellular networks, Wi-Fi, connectivity, the ability to communicate with communities, all the way through to automation, mechanization, Internet of Things, and the ability for machines to be connected, talk to each other, improve productivity, and just as importantly, Minister Zwane mentioned the Lily mine inquiry, and it's been 3 years now. It's important for safety too, so critical across the spectrum, and mines that don't adapt will not be here in the future.
And I think just to add to that, there's a benefit that technology adds to the mining companies. It provides for additional research, particularly in relation to your communities, where there's apps or Wi-Fi that they was using for communication. It gives you a sense of what the community wants, who you're dealing with in the community, what the demographics look like in the community. So it just gives the mining companies that further knowledge they need to make better decisions moving forward.
It's a golden opportunity lost. I think it was an opportunity for Minister Zwane to settle nerves, and he didn't take that opportunity. His speech was bland. It didn't take anything. Don't get me wrong, his focus on Sibanye and Lily was good, because there has to be a focus on health and safety, and it's critical to the industry. But all the other key points he didn't touch on. So MPRDA amendments, people are waiting. They need to understand what is going on there. Mining charter, if it goes to court, we're back into the position we were last year before it went, or before it was set down for decision making. So it's a golden opportunity lost, and that's terribly unfortunate. Who knows whether he's going to be around much longer, and perhaps that also impacted on him not wanting to necessarily make commitments that he wasn't going to be able to see through. Yes, it would have a positive impact. I think that the level of relationship that Minister Zwane has with the industry at the moment is problematic. And one of the people that are involved in that relationship, or that status of the relationship at the moment, has to go. And it seems to be, if he goes, that it would open up the roadblocks. So that definitely would have, in my view, a positive impact on the industry.